Imagine a rock so heavy and so perfect that when it first surfaced from the earth, it made governments shuffle, bankers whisper, and entire cities adjust their plans. Miners working in dust and heat paused as a single flash of light caught an aja glimmer that didn't behave like any normal stone. That single flash became the beginning of a story that would pull in kings, jewelers, investors, and ordinary people, turning a lump of ancient carbon into something the world would argue over for generations. The moment that diamond emerged, everything that followed felt urgent, unfair, impossible, and strangely inevitable. What unfolded next wasn't just a tale of carats or crowns, but of power, desire, and the human decisions that shaped the destiny of the world's biggest diamond ever found. The discovery didn't happen in a clean, cinematic instant. It unfolded like a chain reaction. It began with a pickaxe strike, a miner stepping back, a brief silence, and then that impossible glimmer. Within minutes, the camp buzzed, and by sunset, the entire region felt the shockwave of the news. Messages traveled from the mine to towns, from towns to officials, and then to investors who had been waiting for such a miracle. Within days, dusty open land turned into a controlled zone. Maps were redrawn. Fences appeared, and people who once lived quietly suddenly found themselves in a storm of questions, offers, and threats. Traders, scientists, and soldiers arrived, each with their own agenda. Everyone read the same truth in that brilliant stone. It was about to change lives. Auctions were whispered about long before the diamond even left the ground. Meanwhile, the real human stories were forming in the background, families being pushed aside, fortunes rising overnight, friendships breaking, and hopes solidifying into something tangible and dangerous. But beyond the noise and the chaos, the diamond's true story began billions of years earlier in darkness and unimaginable pressure. Deep within the Earth's mantle, where heat and force reshape matter, carbon atoms slowly lock themselves into a perfect lattice. This process takes patience on a cosmic scale. Most diamonds break, erode, or fracture long before they reach the surface. But for a diamond this enormous to survive, nature must align in rare perfection. The carbon must be pure, the pressure consistent, and the volcanic eruption gentle enough to lift it upward without destroying it. When such a crystal finally reaches human hands, it isn't just a gemstone, it's a time capsule from the planet's earliest chapters. Every surface and flaw whispers a geological story of ancient eruptions, shifting continents, and enormous natural forces that somehow preserved a giant crystal across eons. When the diamond reached the cutting room, the story entered its most delicate phase. Transforming a rough stone of such unimaginable size into polished perfection is a dangerous, nerve-wracking art. Master cutters studied its internal lines, hidden clouds, and microscopic fractures like surgeons reading scans before a life-or-death operation. One wrong touch, one misjudged angle, and the stone could crack, turning a miracle into a tragedy. The question became philosophical as much as technical. Preserve the diamond's sheer size as a historical treasure, or divide it into smaller gems that would shine brighter but forever erase the identity of the original giant. Every stroke of the blade carried tension. Every decision carried consequences. The cutters felt the weight of history in their hands, knowing that their choices would decide how the world remembered this stone, either as one legendary giant or as a family of brilliant pieces scattered across continents. No diamond this large exists without sparking political storms. Ownership becomes a battlefield. Governments claim rights through old laws. Companies waive contracts. Locals argue legacy and justice. Many such diamonds in history became symbols of imperial power, displayed in crowns or locked in vaults, far from the land where they were found. The human cost is often hidden behind museum lights. Villages displaced, miners underpaid, land reclaimed by force, wealth redirected to distant capitals. Even after the diamond enters exhibitions and high-security banks, debates continue should it belong to a nation, a community, or humanity itself. The diamond becomes more than a jewel. It becomes a mirror reflecting uncomfortable truths about greed, inequality, and the price people pay for beauty that nature created for free. Years later, when the noise around it fades, the giant diamond leaves behind a different kind of legacy. It becomes part of folklore, part of national pride for some, and part of unresolved wounds for others. Families still tell stories about the season it was found. Cutters remember the whir of their machines like a distant song. Historians debate the choices that shaped its journey, and treasure hunters trace old maps, wondering if another miracle still lies hidden underground. In the quiet moments, the diamond forces us to confront a simple but haunting question. If you were the one who found that impossible flash of light in the dust, what would you do with it? Would you reveal it to the world, sell it, or keep the secret that could change everything? The story of the world's biggest dime a dozen, just ask what it is worth, it asks what we are.